Drive is one of those movies that I haven't really thought about too much since the cinema. I saw it there, I loved it, it was a 5 out of 5 movie for me. I watched it again a year or so later, loved it again, and then just never really thought about it ever again. Nicholas Winding Refn directs, Ryan Gosling, and really a whole host of star names in this. And this was one of these movies that, you know, they brought out a collector's edition Blu-ray. I thought I'll give it a spin, see what it's like, put the movie on, and almost instantly marvelled at how just perfect this movie really is. It is a familiar kind of storyline that you've seen done before. It doesn't offer many in the ways of surprises other than the way that the story is actually told. It is about a stunt car driver who has this older mentor that kind of uses him and his ability to get him a bit of extra cash. On the side, they do some dirty dealings and getaway driving for robberies and things like that, and he's extremely good at his job. And of course, his private life is rather non-existent. He doesn't really do much. He just kind of goes through the motions until he is behind the wheel, where he becomes something spectacular. But he starts to really kind of latch on to the family next door, Irene and her son Benicio, who seem to not have a father at the start, and they just kind of hang out and become friends, almost. Nothing more than that at the start. There always seems to be a little spark of something, but it never comes to anything. Oscar Isaac's character gets out of jail, and this is a catalyst for everything that is just going to go wrong within the movie. You know, he's been pressured into doing a job. The driver decides to help him out of this situation, and everything just goes awry. But that's basic plot of the movie, and the plot is there, and it's kind of has to be there. It's perfunctory, but the movie's more than that. It has a lot more substance to it. You get the driver character played by Ryan Gosling, who is a stoic, quiet character who doesn't say much, who more measures every situation. He's confident within himself and of his abilities and doesn't need to consistently prove it. You know, you see him in confrontational situations, and it's just a smile, a nod, doesn't say anything, doesn't back down, and just weighs up the situation. But behind the wheel, this guy is just pure gold. Everything that he does is just amazing, and he works this piece of machinery like it was part of himself, and it does that through these terrific shots, low down shots as the cars weave in and out of traffic, as he uses his brain to get out of situations. And there's a lot of foresight into this. This is not an idiot of a character. This is somebody that's extremely smart, self-contained, and should have a lot more respect and reputation than what he actually does have, because he keeps himself to himself and just kind of does what he's told, and lets himself be used by Shannon, Bryan Cranston's character in the movie. Carey Mulligan is the MVP here. She is one of those characters that you fall in love with watching the movie. You know, she's just a great person, and you see the sparks between these two characters, and it's not all sexual or just constant like that. There's just a connection between these two people. They just kind of complete each other, create the little family unit. And you can imagine a different tale if Oscar Isaac wasn't there, if he didn't get out of jail, if he didn't come back into this family unit and just kind of push the driver back out again. It's a movie where everything really works. You know, the actors are all doing amazing performances. You get the direction, which is really sparse and plays it really cool, and it allows the scenes to play out. We get characters that don't often speak a lot, but they don't have to, because everything is done within the sort of camera movements, the way they look at each other. You know, it's all conveyed that way. One of the best things about this movie is the score. The score just grabs hold of you in very few ways that a score does, as well as the soundtrack that is constantly through this as well. It is sublimely subtle. It's there in moments, and before you realise it, you're kind of going along with the music, and it's creeped up on you. It's caught you off guard, like a great soundtrack does. It's not overtly in your face. It's subtly weaving its way into your brain and just taking hold of everything that goes on there. And that's before we get to the sort of latter half of the movie, where things get very violent very quickly, and there is moments of just sheer terror and viciousness as the driver has to do what he has to do. He's put in a situation where he doesn't really want to be in, but he is more than capable of doing what has to be done. And you see a different side of him, but you're always with this character. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to have to do the things that he has to do, but he will to necessitate his end goal, which is to make sure that Irene and Benicio are safe. This was a glorious rewatch. This was a rewatch of a movie that really does just push it really high up on my favourite movies of all time, because there's not a wasted moment. There's not a wasted frame within this entire movie, and everything is working like clockwork and to perfection. Every facet of the filmmaking is just maxed out, and it works so well to create a movie that a lot of people saw, but nobody really talks about it now. Why not? It was big at the time. It's still as fantastic as when I first saw it. Terrific movie. And the recent Blu-ray that came out has that addition of the Zane Lowe reworked score, which is something I'm really curious about checking out. But I put on the original version because it had been so long since I had last seen it. And watching that score with it, it works remarkably well. And I'm unsure as to how I feel about checking out the other score, which I probably will do at some point. But, you know, unless it really grabs me, I can see myself changing back to the other one. There's an extra on it where they talk about, or there's a little documentary about rescoring the film. There's a Q&A with Wyndon Refn as well. Lots of little goodies with this, but most importantly, you get the movie. And it's just fantastic. If this was a bare bone disc and just the movie, I would still be recommending it because it is simply sublime. I would love to know your opinion of Drive. I hope to get my opinion across. You know, I really do like it. I hope you picked that up. Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts on this just masterpiece, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.